This is the Power Platform Daily Brief from CRM Audio. I'm Joel Lindstrom, and this is what you need to know for the Power Platform today, August 14th, 2019. Let's start with a look at new connectors for the Power Platform for Flow and Power Apps. There's 3 since the last update we did on this topic. One is Share Effect. And what Share Effect is a system that lets you take data from other systems and use it as metadata within SharePoint. So you'll be able to trigger that now within your flow. There's one called AirSlate, which is kind of a mystery. AirSlate, if you go to airslate.com, AirSlate is a new service that hasn't launched yet. It's in private beta. It says try out what's next in workflow. So apparently it's another third-party workflow tool. Then we have mTarget SMS. And what mTarget is they're a text SMS service to send and receive text messages, and also a marketing-related SMS service. So that gives us some additional text message options besides Twilio. And there's enhanced functionality in Unified Interface Grids coming. From the Power Apps blog, Unified Interface Grids are more productive with several improvements in preview now and available with the 2019 Wave 2 release. A big focus is making them more dense, more data dense. One negative feedback that we've gotten from users switching from Classic UI to Unified Interface is there's a lot of space between stuff. And if you compare, say, a view from Classic UI with a view grid from Unified Interface, there's more space between them. Well, now they're getting a lot closer together. Literally, the words are getting closer together and adding more data density to grids and visuals so that you can see more records without having to scroll. And they're also making some great changes to the grid state. So when, say you filter a grid by a column or two, when you go back to the view, it's going to remember what the filter was. Some other ones, the jump bar on the bottom, that's the thing with the letters, is going to use the first sorted field rather than only the primary field. That was a gap too, where in the Classic UI, if I selected one of the columns and then I used the jump bar to jump to the M's, it would base it on the field I had selected rather than the first field. The filtering is getting improved. Hierarchy navigation is coming back to the front of the record on the view rather than up in the command bar. And this is going to be some listeners' favorite new feature, right-clicking on lookup field hyperlinks in views to open in a new window or a new tab. That's something that's been missed and something that is going to be a big help, especially if you don't want to lose your context in the window you're in. And signups are going well for the Power Platform 24. That's the virtual 24-hour global conference that we talked about on the Monday episode of the Power Platform Daily Brief. We've gotten a good number of responses and submissions. Surprisingly, it's running pretty even between Flow, Power Apps, and Dynamics 365. I just want to mention, because I didn't really say it on Monday, but if you use Dynamics 365 F&O, we still welcome your submissions. And especially, and this doesn't just apply to F&O, but especially if your submissions cut across different technologies. So some examples. Say you use F&O, but you want to start using Flow. There's now the business actions that Sukrut talked about on Friday on the F&O podcast that you could do one on. There's dual write, so then with dual write you can use Power Apps and Flow on F&O data in CDS. So just keep that in mind. Whether you're talking about F&O, CE, Flow, Power Apps, try and bring in a couple different technologies to your session. Make it extra easy, extra interesting to your audience. Microsoft has published the knowledge base for Service Update 82. That's the update that is slated to go out in September. They normally have regular updates to resolve issues, and this has several issues that have been bugging some people. Some things about some activities not displaying. The irritation where if you in Unified Interface put an email address in the to line, it sometimes shows multiple times in the to line. They're fixing that. One-to-many relationships missing from related entity selector is being fixed. So I'll put the notes in the blog post for the show notes. Nothing really major in there, but again, if you have any of the issues in this, it's major to you. And if you're in Chicago and you want to learn Power Apps next week, I'm going to be leading the Power Apps App in a Day session on August 22nd at the Microsoft office. There's still a few seats left. It's a free event, so I'll put the registration link in the show notes, and I'll see you there. This has been the Power Platform Daily Brief for Wednesday, August 14th,